Privileged to be standing here as the new state committeeman, thanks to the many people in this room. Dan and Bobby, Ken, Raul, Josh, John, so many people around here. If I start naming names, I get in trouble. I should just stop. But I truly want to thank you all for your help. You know, when I was thinking about running for office a few months ago, maybe it was even more than a few months ago, I sat down with Lucy and we got some lunch in Fort Greene.
That's a long time.
It was a long time.
2 years.
Nah, a year. That makes me sound a little more calculated. And I was living just inside the 50th Assembly District and thinking about running for office. And, you know, many people were telling me, well, you should go home and go back to where you grew up in the 52nd. And Lucy's son and I went to the same school growing up. But Lucy said, no, run in the 50th. We need to expand the reform base in Brooklyn. We've got good people in the 52nd. And if we don't grow it, if we don't bring more leaders with integrity who care about their communities, who are going to fight for a better brand of politics in Brooklyn into new neighborhoods, it's just going to stay the same. We're going to have a couple people screaming out in the cold, and it's not going to make a difference. And I'm very proud to say that in my district, the northern part of Fort Greene and Clinton Hill, Williamsburg, and Greenpoint, we won just about 80% of the vote outside of the Hasidic community. And we squeaked out a win by just a 120 vote margin. But we ran a real strong campaign. We knocked on literally over 20,000 doors. And it was as strong a campaign as it was thanks to two people, one of whom is here today, and that's Sarah Baker, who is... And the other is a guy who I think many of you know well, a member of this club, Chris McCray. But Lucy is right that I think much of the press that's been coming out about our fearless Democratic Party leader over these last couple weeks is a result from the mayor's office not being quite as happy with him as they used to be. But we will take credit for a few of those articles also. Matt and Sarah and I talk to the press every day, and we're certainly looking to continue this wave of criticism and to expand the ethical cloud that is ever darkening around Vito Lopez. And the way that he runs the Brooklyn Democratic Party is fundamentally unacceptable. And I think it was on full display for all of us on Monday night. And there are some concrete steps that we all need to take to bring new leadership to our Democratic Party immediately. And I'll tell you about some of the things that I've been thinking about. And Chris talked about some of these things, and I'll be brief because I know we've got a long agenda. One, we do need to be thinking about legal strategy. I've been talking to election lawyers. Has the Voting Rights Act, was the clearance that was provided by the Department of Justice for the expansion of at-large district leader seats, in fact, not a violation of the Voting Rights Act? We need to do our due diligence here and think about if there's an opportunity to either raise the resources necessary or find some pro bono attorneys that can file a federal lawsuit. Two, we need to build a new coalition on the executive committee of the party. And I believe that with Chris and myself, newly elected to this body, we have an opportunity that we haven't seen in a long time to reach out to our colleagues around the borough, reach out to folks who are furious with Vito Lopez, and build some bridges. And I can tell you, when I was there Monday night and it was likely that I was going to be the new victor, there were members of the state committee that might surprise you that were coming up and congratulating me and telling me how happy they were to see me elected, have followed up with phone calls, or looking to sit down. There are opportunities out there for us to reach out to people in central Brooklyn, in southern Brooklyn, in Sunset Park, all over the borough, to really build a new coalition to effect some change. And I will certainly do my part as a member of the state committee, but I encourage all of you to reach out to your district leaders if you don't live in the 52nd, begin putting the pressure on them as constituents, as members of your community, telling them that we need folks representing us who are going to stand up to Vito Lopez. And I do believe that what my victory, what our victory proved just this past, was it yesterday, Sarah? Yeah, yesterday.
Seems like a really long
It's been a long few months. But what I believe this victory proves is that any one of us who care about our neighborhoods, who are willing to work hard and reach out to our neighbors, can go out there and win these seats. most of our district leaders haven't appeared on a ballot in a very long time. And most of our district leaders are unknown to their constituents. And if you put the work in and you run, we can win. And we need to begin putting our district leaders on notice that this can happen. And the last piece I'll say, just as a strategy point that I think we all need to be considering, is that the bylaws of the Brooklyn Democratic Party provide us with some wiggle room. And Vito is I think, masterful at oh, there was the next
Don't
one.
worry, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's
Wardrobe malfunction.
still make it look good. Listen. I think there is quite a bit of wiggle room within the bylaws of the Brooklyn Democratic Party for us to do all kinds of things and to really shake things up. And I encourage each and every one of you to take a look at them and be creative and be innovative.